We've got such a great day ahead of us. Tell a joke while you guys are getting to your seat. You may have heard this one. How do you know when a regular joke becomes a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. It's a wonderful crew. I get nothing off of that joke usually. All right, you can use that one because I didn't come up with this. But all right. Well, welcome to second symposium at Kinected. First one was on AI. This one's on innovation. The next one is going to be on employee flourishing and corporate culture. It's going to be fantastic. Stay tuned for a date on that one. But what we want to do is we want to get together about once a quarter and bring business leaders, organizational leaders, folks together to be able to focus and get some time to just get to altitude and to review some new things, maybe break some old things. And innovation is a great topic for us. How many of you feel like you're innovators? All right, good deal. Good deal. When we leave here, I hope everybody raises your hand and feels that call to answer and become an innovator. Now, the word innovate, it's a Greek word, it's a compound word, but it's the root word of that is to make new. Novare is the Latin word there, to make new. And sometimes I think we feel like innovation has to do with technology exclusively. But the real innovation that we want to look at as organizations and as people is making things new. Because if we don't make things new, we're actually dying. All right. And you've heard this kind of, we joked around. We got this beautiful innovate and integrate, accelerate. Mike Morehouse did all of our branding and things from this event. We joked about putting innovate or die on there. But that's what the calling is when we think about it. Because if we're not becoming new, and then we're really dying. Well, innovation is not just a buzzword. We're here to explore how real transformative innovation happens within individuals, teams, and organizations. At the very core, all right, there we go. At the very core of every breakthrough, whether it's personal or whether it's organizational, there lies a strong sense of identity, who we are. That identity needs to determine what kind of innovation that we're pursuing. Right? Because without clarity and identity, companies will just chase trends instead of creating them. And individuals settle for incremental progress instead of exponential transformation. Simon Sinek, and I start with why, leans into the fact when we understand our purpose, we can innovate with changing environments so much better than if we just associate and identify with what we do. So we need to understand our purpose in order to innovate well. In the 10X is easier than 2X, book by Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan, they challenge us with some of their 10X principles. And true innovation doesn't come from doing more of the same. Getting tired comes from doing more of the same. Right? Innovation comes from doing something different. It comes from shifting how we think, focusing on what would make the biggest impact, and eliminating distractions that keep us stuck in incremental change. Right? This approach forces us to think bigger and to align our actions with a much larger vision of what's possible. And there's one of my favorite verses. I'm a person of faith, and there's a verse that says that we have to renew ourselves, right, by renewing our mind. Right, so we experience transformation when we're in our minds. So I want you to think about innovation starts right up in here. It doesn't start with discovering some technology necessarily. It starts really by transforming and changing the mind. So innovation is going to start on the inside of us and on the inside of our people. But thinking big isn't enough, right? And this is one of my favorite quotes here from the great sage Michael Squints Halidoris. And he said wisely, if you were thinking, you wouldn't have thought that. Right? What this is really a call into what psychologists would say was metacognition. right? This is being aware of what you're thinking about what you're thinking about. Going along with the flow is not the path to innovation. Right? We have to stop and recognize that innovation starts on the inside of us. All right, and quickly, I love this 5 times larger than life twins. Anybody seen The Sandlot? Okay. So you never know generationally. All right, so Colby here, you didn't raise your hand. You seen The Sandlot? Oh, okay, good. Just want to make sure. All right. Good deal. Good deal. But the thinking is that change, real lasting change requires action. And John Potter is famous for his work in organizational change. And the organizational transformation, it really comes from the inside out. Change isn't just about implementing new ideas. It requires urgency, first of all. It requires leadership alignment, and it requires a compelling vision, and critically, a culture that supports and sustains the transformation. So innovation isn't just, hey, I got an idea. Innovation is, I've actually got to go and do something about it. I've got to get my organization and believe in, right? So we're going to hear things today about organizational change and the things that go with it. And we'll start with urgency. If we're comfortable where we're at, we're going to tend to stay where we're at. Object at rest tends to stay at rest. All right, so it's kind of physics, but it's also human. And anybody's been around trying to lead an organization for organizational change, I have an interesting perspective on some of the government actions that are going on right now. And when it feels like, wow, you don't care about things when you just kill an organization. And if you've ever tried to lead an organization through that change, you recognize it is often not just easier, but the right thing to kill the old so that the new can be born. Right? Sometimes you just can't change the old enough. It has to be buried. And there's a good spiritual thing there too. We have to do away with the old. But I love, we'll get in, hopefully we'll get in with some of this today. We'll hear it, but I want you to be looking for it. That innovation does happen often. I'll call it redemptive innovation. It's when, making something new. It's not just when the old goes away and the new takes its place. It's when ashes become something beautiful. It's when chains that we're holding become an instrument of freedom, right? So sometimes the most difficult things that we go through become the very essence and the DNA of our innovation, but they have to be healed and they have to be transformed into that strength. It's like a place that I can bear fruit that nobody else can because of the strength that I had to go through, right? But I allowed it to turn into that, right? And sometimes we have to take our organization through that valley, through that horrible place, right? Help make the urgency for them. We might have to take away the comfort, right? We might have to take away some of the nice things so that we can then pursue those big changes. So not even with a compelling vision, we all encounter, now, there we go. Even with a compelling vision, we all encounter obstacles, both internal and external. And Carol Dweck talks about growth mindsets, one of her core research areas. And she talks about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the one that sees challenges as things just get in the way and they take from me. But a growth mindset sees that everything in the way is actually an opportunity for growth. On the other side of this is something good. And so I approach it with hope. I approach it with this growth mindset. So that it's like, anybody go to the gym today? All right, I did not go to the gym today, right? Because I don't necessarily have a growth mindset when I walk into a gym. I see a bunch of torture. I see a bunch of pain, right? I was like, why on earth would anybody pay money, right, much less spend their time to go into this place of torture? Well, the people who've experienced it, right, they know they pursue that pain, they pursue the discomfort, they pursue the challenge and obstacle because they know there is no other way to get to the growth that they want, right? Your physical strength, does your physical strength come any other way except through challenge and resistance and obstacles? There's no other way to get physically strong. It has to go through resistance. And our companies are the same way. Our organizations are the same way. And we have to bring this hope. If you want to be a championship team, guess what? You get to play against the toughest teams. And it's a joy. If you have your eyes set on becoming a champion, it is a joy to face the toughest teams because you know you're getting closer and closer to that goal, right? So innovation, it's not just working hard, right? It's finding your true identity and leaning into that. And I love this idea of a sailboat, and I also love this idea of being in a inner tube because both of them are in the same environment, right? Same exact environment, but one is going just where the environment takes it, wherever the wind, wherever the currents take it. Maybe alive, afloat, but that sailboat doesn't care where the environment is blowing, where the wind is blowing. In fact, that sailboat wants the wind to be against it a bit because if it's against it, it can go faster than if the wind is just at its back. Isn't that amazing? Did y'all know that? Hey, sailors in the room? We got one. Okay, yeah, fill your ship, right? When the wind is spreading your back, that's not the fastest we go. You need it working against you, right? And when things are working against us, we can actually use that to excel goals, all right? So don't be the guy in the inner tube there. So beyond innovation for its own sake, we also need to consider it to be terms of endearment. It's a great book. Those businesses in that prioritize purpose, people, and long-term value over short-term profits. They outperform the market by 12 to 14 times, right? Not 12 to 14%, 12 to 14 times. That's 1,200%, 1,400%, right? Those are businesses, large businesses that focus on people, integrating their values. And so we can innovate, not just with technology, but we can innovate with impact, we can innovate with people. Finally, I'm going to put this a little bit earlier. This is my other, y'all know who that is? Uncle Rico. Right, so Uncle Rico was not very innovative. He was stuck in the class. He was living the past and didn't allow his past to actually make him stronger. Right, so don't be an Uncle Rico business, right, where you'll be living in a van, right, and your business is going to be selling Tupperware, right? But we want to innovate with character as well. And understanding that our character, I've got a set of weights up here, our character is like our physical strength. It has to be challenged, it has to be pushed, it has to be tested, and it has to be known. And we can innovate. I consider character to be the congruence of our identity and our behaviors and our mindset. So one of the best ways and most important ways to innovate, and maybe I should say it this way, if we only innovate with technology and we don't innovate with character, we're going to be left an empty shell, all right? So we might make some money for a season, but we're going to be left an empty shell of a company. The people that want to do great things want to be a part of an organization that is innovative in their character. They're always pushing to be more innovative. We're always pushing to have more contribution. They're always pushing to be more service-oriented. And so innovation, I know we're here. Innovation, we're going to talk through technology today, some fantastic speakers that we have coming up today. But I want you to open up your minds and your hearts to be hearing things that are going to transform you first so that you can then take that transformation back to your organization, bring the urgency and the organizational change.